Hey, I'm Chris Epp from Make Everything, and this is my new jet milling machine. I picked it up at an auction, and I'm really excited about it, but it's broken. And today we're gonna fix it. Check it out. All right, so I've got a bunch of different milling machines in the shop, and I've had a lot of milling machines over the years. I've had kind of mini mills, I've had column mills, Bridgeports, and stuff like that. Now, I've been in search for kind of like the last milling machine. Something that would be capable and something that had all the features that I wanted. When I came across this jet at an auction, I was really excited. This jet milling machine kind of checks off all the boxes for what I was looking for in a mill to sort of keep long term and not really look to upgrade. This machine has a 49-inch table. It has power feed in 2 directions. It has an Accurite DRO. It's variable speed with a quick change pulley system. And the most important thing that it has, and the most valuable thing that it has to me, is it has a power drawbar. A machine like this to go out and buy would be thousands of dollars. And I picked this up for a steal at under $2,000. Now, the shop I bought it from had gone out of business, and I didn't get an opportunity to talk to anybody at the shop before I got the machine, so I really had no idea what I was getting myself into when I picked it up. What I did find out when I got it home was that it had a couple of problems. The main one is here in the quill. So the part on a mill or a drill press that goes up and down is called the quill. And on a Bridgeport style machine like this, there's something inside the quill housing called the quill skirt or the quill dust cover. Now, on this machine, there should be about 5 inches of travel for the quill. It should go all the way up till this block goes to here, and it should go all the way down until it at least reaches with this stop block, which can be lowered even further. Now, you can see I can't get this to go down any further, which is a pretty big problem considering it limits almost 2 inches of usable travel from this machine. The quill skirt in there is clearly broken and banged up, and the only way to get to it is to take apart the head of this machine and get in there. The other problem that this machine has is that the power feed gear is slipping. The power feed gear is up inside the machine up there, and I'll also be able to get to it once I take the head off. The third issue is that there is no pin inside the actual quill itself to hold the RA collet. That's an easy one. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to get this machine loosened up over here, and we're going to lift this head off, look inside, and see if we can fix that broken quill skirt. Before I start taking this thing apart, something to note, I'm not flying completely blind here. There's another channel here on YouTube that I found when I was looking for information on how to fix these machines called H&W Machinery Repair. Now, they have a really great catalog of videos showing how to rebuild Bridgeports and Bridgeport clones like this. And I reached out to them about the quill skirt, and they sent me step-by-step instructions on how to get to that without completely disassembling and rebuilding the head. This part of this machine is fine. While it does need a little bit of tuning, I don't need to access that and take this all apart right now. They showed me how I could access the bottom half of this head without disassembling the top half completely, and it's through these bolts. So I'm going to put the chain hoist on there so I get some pressure off of it, loosen these, lift this off, and see what we see. Here goes nothing. So there's connections on this that go up to the head, and before I get too crazy, I want to disconnect this little bracket, which will take all that stuff off, which will just make sure that I don't wind up pulling a cable too long or breaking anything, hopefully. All right, so the instructions I got say to remove these 3 bolts. Right now I've got a little bit of tension on this head. I'm hoping it's pretty balanced considering the motor is here and then this big gearbox is here. So we're gonna start just loosening these up. There's only 3 of them keeping this whole thing on. Okay, I mean, it already is loose, so I guess I'll just try to lift and see what happens. Looks good to me. I have found the culprit. And the culprit is that bent over piece of what is the quill skirt. So, let's hold the light. So right here is a thin piece of sheet metal, and when I try to lower the quill, it gets jammed. I don't know how that could have broken, but it doesn't really matter now because it did. So we're going to disassemble some of this gear housing, and we're going to try to replace that and see if it solves the problem. Ah, got it. So that's the old quill skirt. Here's the new one. Alright, so here's the problem. I got the old quill skirt out, and I thought that that was the reason why this thing wasn't going as far as it needed to go. Turns out, I got it out, and it still doesn't want to go down as far as it's supposed to. So there's something else wrong with the quill, and I think the only way for me to resolve it is to take apart, I guess, the quill feed lever and try to figure out where the issue is. Gonna just kind of fly a little bit blind here because I'm not exactly sure how to get the quill out completely, but I'm gonna figure it out as we go. Let's give it a try. Alright, the whole gear just came out once I took that clip out. So now the spindle, the quill should kind of be free. Alright, now I can see it move. Let's look back in here and see if we can see anything on the teeth. See that little piece of metal right there? When I was moving the quill up and down, it's very hard to lift with one hand. That little piece of metal fell out of the teeth. I think that's part of the quill skirt, and I think that was the problem. Let's get the magnet and get it out. I think that might have been the problem. You can see the teeth of the quill right there, and if there's anything in those teeth, the quill's going to get stuck. The quill already looks like it's further down than it normally would be. Let's see what kind of motion we get out of it. Okay, so this little piece looks like it's part of the quill skirt. Alright, and there's something, feels like something blocking it from going all the way up. I'm not sure what that is, but going all the way down, I think we're going to be okay. There's something, this is a lever from another machine, there's something like right there, and there's something right there, but whatever is right here is kind of an easy one to get past and get to the bottom, but this top one, let's see if I can see what's on the threads right there. There's very slight pieces of metal, and I mean maybe it's that fine. I'll have to get in there with a pick and try to get it out. I'm not sure if I should blow compressed air in there because there is a bunch of metal shavings in there, and I feel like I might just get stuff stuck where I don't want it. This is another little piece of the quill skirt, and this is what's causing that tightness. It's exactly where it would have been. Oh, I got it. Another piece of the quill skirt. Okay, let's try to put that rack gear back in there and see how it works now. I think I got all the pieces of the quill skirt out. Yep. Ah, look at that. So now I've got full motion all the way. Oh, that's awesome. All right, let's put the new quill skirt in the top and just make sure it still functions with the new quill skirt in there. Okay, so we've got it fixed. I was able to get all the stuff out of the rack and pinion. I was able to get the new quill skirt in there. It's working perfect. This is a huge success. Now we just have to get this thing back together without destroying it. And then we're gonna do one more upgrade to this machine, which is we're gonna add a 7-inch riser block to the head. And I figure while the machine is out here and I've got the gantry crane overhead, we might as well do it. I've got it being painted right now so that it'll match. We're also just going to do some general kind of cleanup to this machine while it's out in the middle of the room. But this was the big problem, and I'm really, really happy to see that it is fixed, and I've got now full range of motion out of my spindle. This is amazing. All right, moment of truth. Let's plug it in and see if it works. Now it's in high speed. Let's put it in low speed. Alright, let's check our power down feed. Let's see if that works. It works. It's fixed. Fuck. Yeah. So now, let's throw the riser on there and clean this thing up. All right, so with a little bit of help, I was able to get the base cleaned up, and the machine looks really good as it's gonna look. Now I've gotta lift this up. The turret, ram, and head I wanna keep together, and I gotta put this 7-inch riser block in. Now, I don't think I have enough height to lift this because this is so tall. I mean, this machine is pretty high and it's on a pallet. So what I think I'm gonna do is loosen these. I'm gonna rotate the head completely upside down, which will get me some more height and hopefully help balance it. And then I should be able to lift this off, and then we can throw the riser on there and put the whole thing back together and spin the head back over the top. Let's see how it goes. Alright, so you can get an idea of what's going on here. There's a spider down in there that's bolted through the bottom of the riser, and then another spider right here. Now that one came with the riser block, and this one was on the mill. So I know that the holes in this spider line up with the holes here in the head, which is precariously hanging right next to me. So now we're just going to try to maneuver this onto here, line up the holes, and get those bolts back in. And this should be good. The top of this is really smooth and clean, so I should still be able to rotate on it. And the bottom of this riser will never have to rotate. All right, let's do it. All right, so this is the power drawbar that goes on this machine. This is one of the reasons why I was able to do this 7-inch lift, because I actually never have to get up to the drawbar all the way up here. So what this is a little pneumatic ratchet, and the original air filter and oiler was just kind of crummy. So I went on Amazon and I bought this one. This was like 25 bucks, brand new. I can put oil in here, it'll automatically oil the tool. It's got a little regulator. I threw a shut-off valve on it and a quick connect so I can just hook air up to it, set the regulator, and go. I'll show you how this works real quick before I bring it up top. And like any good air tool, it leaks. So there's a green button here that you press to engage it. I don't even know if this is in the frame. There's a green button here you press to engage it, and then in, you can see how the wrench drops. And out. So basically this button is activating a solenoid that's pressing this thing down, and then this is changing the forward or reverse on the little air drill right here. There's a torque setting here that you can adjust, and this goes down, and it's got a little, basically a spline drive socket that grabs the spline of this, which is the drawbar, and allows you to really quickly release and grab collets way faster than, you know, screwing and unscrewing a regular drawbar. All right, now we can hook this up and put it on top. last thing to do is inside this spindle, there's a pin that should register against an R8 collet or an R8 tool. And on these jet mills and the import mills, there is a nose cone here. But what's important to note is that this nose cone is left-hand thread on these mills versus on a Bridgeport where it's a traditional thread. So what we've got to do here is take this off, and then on this spindle, right there is a little Allen key. So you can see now this can spin in there. If I tighten up this other Allen key in there, it is the pin, the set screw, acts as the pin, and now it can't rotate. So that's all that took. Alright, that about does it for this video. I'm so excited about this thing. Like I said in the beginning, I had been kind of looking for a mill that had all the features I wanted, and this one checks pretty much all the boxes. Being able to have power feed in 2 directions, this 49-inch table is awesome. Now with the 7-inch riser, the power drawbar, the variable speed head, I mean, this thing is fantastic. This is also a 3 horsepower machine, and it can go up to 4,200 RPMs. Super robust, awesome machine, and all the ways and gibs are nice and tight, and they seem to be in really good condition considering this thing was definitely pretty well used. The Accurite DRO is also really cool, and I'm excited for that. The only other thing I might add is a little DRO here on the quill, so I've got 3 axes of DRO, and that would just sort of make this thing even more perfect. Thanks for following along with this video. If you want to see more, go ahead and follow me here on Instagram. I post pretty much every day, and I posted a lot of behind the scenes stuff while we were working on this machine here in the shop. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this and some videos of me using this machine on some upcoming projects. If you have any questions, leave them down below in the comments. I'd be happy to answer them. Thanks again for watching. Again, I'm Chris Zepp from Make Everything, and I will see you on the next one. All right, now I got to put my shop back together. Let's go.